Hi everyone, my name is Benedetta Gori and I am a research assistant within the Agri-Hist project at the Royal Botanic Gardens Kew. And within such project, we combine taxonomical, ethnobotanical and historical perspectives within a pilot interdisciplinary research methodology to study agriculture, crops and food systems within selected agroclimatic zones, in this case the highlands of Ethiopia and Guinea. So the study sites we selected for this project are the Konzo region of Ethiopia in East Africa, located in the southwestern part of the country and inhabited by the ethno-linguistic group of the Konzo people, and the Futa Jallon region of Guinea in West Africa, located in the center of the country and inhabited by the ethno-linguistic group of the Fula. And as you can see in this slide, this is a map of the Konzo area, and I am going to focus my presentation on that. Since our team from Addis Ababa University just got back from a preliminary fieldwork, which provided us with some interesting preliminary results that I will be able to share with you today. So first of all, I'd like to give you a bit of background. Contrary to their reputation of backwardness and scarcity, indigenous food and agricultural systems have historically been key to create and maintain biodiversity-rich landscapes, as well as diverse and nutritious diets in Africa. However, over the past decades, the African continent has witnessed a progressive abandonment of these systems, as well as a significant cultural erosion following the growing urbanization, social transformations, and land use change. And this has led to many local plant varieties and species becoming what today we call orphan or forgotten crops, and being replaced by a narrow range of commercial hybrids, which are usually highly input dependent and unable to support balanced diets. The present research develops around the framework of the biocultural diversity conservation, because we understand local agrobiodiversity as a truly biocultural entity. In fact, traditional crops have been created, selected, and transmitted from generation to generation over time. And therefore, what farmers seek in the process of seed selection, for instance, is a crucial theme behind achieving their effective conservation. And local traditional crops and their land races came to exist by virtue of a continuous mutual relationship between men and the land. And here you can see from the figure how we tried to summarize such synergy and how both natural and cultural elements equally get to shape local crop and landrace diversity on farm. So in light of these premises, the current research aims to deepen the complex relationships between local agricultural choices, environment, cultural preferences, and temporal changes within these two agrobiodiversity hotspots. And by doing that, we hope that our findings will help us understand the extent to which cultural changes, including the abandonment of traditional food and agricultural systems, are affecting agrobiodiversity conservation from a biological perspective. And by building this empirical basis, we hope to be able to contribute to the effective design of future on-farm conservation strategies. So in order to capture this synergy between nature and culture and to understand how local farmers' choices are influenced by a multitude of socio-economic as well as ecological factors, we decided to employ a set of qualitative data collection tools often grouped under the umbrella of participatory rural appraisal, or PRA. So through the combination of individual, so household and group interviews, we obtained local information on the contributions of local crops and ecosystem services to livelihoods and food security, as well as their availability and use change over time. In particular, we designed a set of exploratory questions in order to understand which crops are grown at present and why, and a trend analysis exercise which could allow us to develop a matrix to track crop relative abundance, use value and commercial value over time, identifying the main drivers of change. And in addition to the exploratory open-ended questions, we asked people to complete a drawing exercise and a calendar to be able to get a complete and exhaustive picture of everything that is still cultivated in each village. And here you can find an example of what our questionnaires and participatory activities look like. For instance, during the trend analysis, participants were asked to assign a score from 0 to 10, with 0 meaning no availability or use or sale, and 10 meaning extremely high availability or use or sale, for the relative abundance, the use value, and the commercial value of each species listed in the exploratory questions in various time periods. So 50 or more years ago, 20 years ago, present time, and 10 years in the future. So we even asked people to predict what the future availability, use, and commercial value of such species will look like. And here we got a few preliminary results that I thought was worth sharing with you today. As you can see from the graphics, which I developed taking into account only a few selected crops, there is a clear decrease of native crops such as sorghum and barley, counterbalanced by a significant increase in maize cultivation and consumption. And additionally, I think it's important to highlight that we found a significant positive correlation between abundance, use value, and commercial value of these species. And why are these data significant? Because through the creation of an empirical basis predicting potential future scenarios of change in local agrobiodiversity and abandonment of native cultivation that make these critically important areas what we define today as biodiversity hotspots, we can effectively design future responses to address or reverse such changes. Finally, we are working to produce some local ethnobotanical inventories of forgotten crops and their land races, which will contribute to the preservation of the local traditional ecological knowledge for future generations in a more direct way. So thank you so much for your attention, and I want to thank our colleagues from the Addis Ababa University in Ethiopia and from the University of York in the United Kingdom, and of course our research group at the Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew. Thank you so much for listening.